Hi, welcome to Change with Dane. I'm Dane Campbell, and this is my inaugural YouTube video. And so I'd like to introduce myself and let you know what Change with Dane is about, a little bit about who I am, and where I see this channel going in the future. Most recently, I'm a retired Air Force officer. I spent 27 years in the Air Force, and through some twists and turns in my much younger days, I ended up in an organization that I didn't even know employed social workers until I kind of did the initial research and joined up. But I spent 27 great years serving military members, primarily Air Force, and their families in all capacities that an Air Force social worker can work in. And most recently, I was employed and expected by them to be an Air Force leader. So I'm a former squadron commander and deputy group commander. And I had a great career in the Air Force and felt very fortunate that I was able to serve my country and serve my fellow man in that way. So Change with Dane was born out of my continued experience with people who go through massive changes in their life. I know that all of us go through change, and I glibly over the course of my life often use this statement, which maybe many of you have, which is change is the only thing in life that's constant. I've come to believe that very, very wholeheartely. And change is difficult. For some people, it's more difficult than others. And a lot of times people are going through changes that they don't even realize may be happening to them, or they may be going through changes where the effects are huge, but in the moment, they may not realize what those changes are leading to. So because all of us in life struggle with this, and all of us go through change constantly, and in my opinion, having worked with many clients who found it difficult to make lasting change, I want to spend time talking about how we as individuals can find ways to deal with the challenges of change, and hopefully help people find greater peace and success in life through that change. And I'm not here to say that I'm the expert and that I know everything about change, but I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot working with people. I've learned a lot through reading and research, and I've learned a lot just through observation. So whether I've helped people through organizational change or individual change or personal change, I think I do have some important things that I can add to the conversation and maybe help people with. So I appreciate you listening to this point, and hopefully you'll get to know me and who I am and what I'm about. And you can glean a few things from time that you may spend with me in learning about change and how to make that happen in your life. Now, I'm a realist. I realize that there's a gazillion things you could do with your time. There's probably a gazillion other people you could watch or listen to or read on the internet right now. So I do want to thank you for stopping by and giving me your time. Time is precious. It's a commodity that all of us have, and it just kind of gets worn away. And as somebody who spent 27 years working in various locations around the country and the globe, I hit my retirement date, and I looked back and I wondered, where did 27 years go? Some of those days were very long, but on the whole of it, at this point in my life, it seems like that time passed really, really quickly. And so I appreciate the fact that you're here, and there's a lot of other things you could be doing, but you chose to listen to me. And so I hope that I can offer you something important in the time we spend together. So let's talk just a little bit about change, and then I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. In my view, change can happen in a couple of ways. The first is things that happen in our environment that we have no control over. Oftentimes events occur and it forces us to go through monumental change. Just this past year, it's 2025, there were huge wildfires in Southern California, and whole communities lost hundreds of individual and shared housing units. And so I just think about all of the people in that situation who, based upon no reaction, no decision, and no desire from them, had to go through and undertake monumental change, because one day their home was there and the next day it was not. This happens to people all the time, and it is unfortunate a lot of times that tragedy is often involved. A lot of times people lose loved ones. They may even find themselves, because of disease or accidents or even decisions of others, having to accept and go through significant and monumental change. And I do plan to talk about how you can face these kinds of situations in your life and find ways to work with that, and hopefully build and find some maybe small level of understanding, and build resilience, and find a way to move past and beyond those incidents or those things that happen to you, and that hopefully that change can become a position of growth, and at the very least maybe find some way to accept those things that often happen to us, and we had no real decision in that being the case or that happening. So that's one kind of change, and I do plan on talking about some specific incidents, maybe some other things in general, and hopefully offer some principles and a little bit of guidance and maybe some ideas that can help people accept and go through and work through some of those difficulties that force change. Another kind of change, and this is what I do as a change agent, as a therapist, is I often help people who want to change certain things in their life. This is not easy. I found that we are creatures of habit, and oftentimes we do things and make decisions very early in our life, or we're started down a pathway by parents or teachers or circumstances, and we learn how to do things, think things, and become who we are, based upon the circumstances that we go through, and oftentimes parts of our personality that lead us to do things in a certain way. So sometimes these things are or become less than positive, and they don't really serve us in our lives in a way that can be helpful. And so we seek for ways to change and be different if we think that some of the things that we're thinking or doing is not serving us well. So because we're creatures of habit, and sometimes we just don't know how to make those changes, and sometimes those things are very core to who we are and what we believe and what we've been doing. Lasting change in those areas can sometimes be somewhat difficult and frustrating to make. So there's a lot of help out there for people who are wanting to make these types of changes in their life. And there's a myriad of therapies, there's a myriad of therapists, and there's lots of ways that you can benefit and help yourself make these lasting changes. But I do want to acknowledge right off the bat that I give a lot of credit to people who want to make changes in their life. I give a lot of credit for people making the effort. And I am happy to give a lot of credit to people who try and sometimes maybe don't reach their goal or fall a little short and then try again, because that's really kind of the human nature, isn't it? None of us are perfect. None of us are going to do things in a perfect way or think things in a perfect way. And so anyone who has the insight and the desire and makes the effort to change, I just want to, if that has been you, I want to give you a lot of credit, because it's difficult. For some people, it's even difficult to consider that they may need to change or that they may need to do something different. And then to do the work and finding out how to do that and learning how to do something else habitually, so that the change is lasting and helps you gain the success that you want or be who you want to be. I want to give you a great deal of credit for doing that, because it can be very, very challenging. So, two kinds of change, right? The stuff that happens to us, around us, that we have no control over, but often forces us down a different path or makes us change. And then when circumstances around us drive us to realize that we need to do something different to have the kind of life we want, or to make things better for us, and those kinds of things will often drive a decision to change. So we're taking that on, and we're gonna look at different strategies and ideas that could potentially help someone who makes that decision. So as a social worker and as a therapist, I am excited about talking with you, and I will give you an example of change in my personal life right now. I'm an old guy. Me sitting here in front of this camera talking to you forces me to change some of my ideas and some of my thoughts about who I am, my image, and myself. I like to do things right, and I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist. But me doing this, I can't be perfect. I've had to learn a lot as far as technology, I've had to look at some of the schemas about myself and challenge the ideas that I have about allowing the world, if they want, an opportunity to see who I am and what I'm about. And so this is forcing change in myself. And even though it's uncomfortable, even though I would probably rather do, 100 other things than sit here in front of this camera and talk to you, I think this is important because of the things I'm going to share with you, but also because it forces me to grow and to learn and to be something, in my opinion, that's a little bit better, a little bit bigger, a little bit broader than who I have been for the last 27 years. So even as an older guy that's nearing his 60th decade, I can learn, I can grow, and I can change. And I'm going to offer you some ideas in the time that we talk that might help you in changes that you want to make in your life. So once again, thank you for listening. And if you do like any of the things that I've talked about today, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe. And I hope to be back soon to talk with you again about change. Thanks.